Welcome back for another video, guys and gals. I appreciate you all's patience with me. I've been getting some things situated in order for my transition out of the military. So a lot have been going down with paperwork needing to be turned in and whatnot. But do me a favor. I need you guys to get this video to at least 100 likes so that I could break a little bit of that YouTube algorithm that's keeping people from watching these videos. I'll be sharing some good information with you guys and letting you know my thoughts on why I think that this spike 2 minutes before close on the previous trading day was merely due to shorts and market makers failing to break that 50-cent level. We're going to talk on some data points, especially surrounding shorts, look at the EPA certification and more. So consider subscribing. Let's get right into it. The cost to borrow data, guys and girls, as I mentioned in previous videos, yet here we are today again, 11:15 on the dot. The cost to borrow or borrow fee is at 0%, as well as the rebate being at 0%. And then there is also 3.5 million shares available to be borrowed. And if you follow that blue arrow up from that, where you actually see this chart over here down to your right, that this has been happening multiple days. And it can't be a glitch. You know, it's all tied into Mullen's price action, in my opinion, and what's been going around suppressing the stock. And if you think about it, how I've been mentioning as well in previous videos, how can a stock go from being at 23% borrow fee, which means it's a hard to borrow stock, then 15 minutes later, it's the easiest stock in the market to borrow at 0%. And here's another chart for you guys. This time we're talking about the off exchange volume and or dark pool, which is another exchange where volume gets rerouted. And it's supposed to be only for big institutions to do block trades, but a lot of retail volume goes there if you haven't noticed. Taking a look at the top of the horizontal red line, you'll see that that is the time frame where Mullen's volume was consistently off exchange at 70% or more. And if you follow that red line down from the touch point, you'll see that it's been over 70% since the beginning of August, around August 10th. Another thing to keep in mind is synthetic shorting and or creating phantom shares. And that's not only done by the brokerage firm continuing to print them out for these shorts to be able to use. Another way that these shorts do synthetic shorting is by the options market. The arbitrageurs do not need to borrow stocks to be able to short them. It is possible to replicate a short position or enter into a synthetic short by simultaneously buying a put option and shorting a call option with the same strike price and time of maturity. Based on these synthetic short positions, Wheatsner 2016 constructs the term structure of shorting costs using available options and shows how this term structure affects shorting costs and future returns. Just something to keep in mind when you start to hear about massive calls or puts being bought up, especially when there is no news going on. So the Class 3 trucks get EPA certified. Let's take a look at the filing. On September 22, 2023, the company received from the United States Environmental Protection Agency a certificate of conformity of its Class 3 EV commercial vehicles. The U.S. Clean Air Act requires that a certificate of conformity issued by the EPA certifying that certain vehicles comply with all applicable emissions and related certification requirements. In addition, the Muln Class 3 EV cab chassis truck has completed all required testing requirements for federal motor vehicle safety standards and compliance. With the EPA certification in hand, the FMVSS compliance, the company can now begin shipments of Class 3 EVs for customer delivery. Now, they can start customer deliveries, but who knows if they're going to be big numbers or small numbers of these trucks being delivered to customers. If any deliveries are announced of this matter, it should be significant enough to be considered as a production update. But if there is an unexpectedly big number of deliveries announced, then that should definitely move the stock price. But one thing to definitely mention and take in consideration is this last passage on the certification. It says, in the case of completely assembled vehicles, this certificate of conformity covers only vehicles which are completely manufactured prior to January 1st, 2025. Normally, incompletely assembled vehicles such as cab chassis may be completed after this date, provided that the basic manufacturing, including installation of the emission control system, was completed prior to January 1st, 2025. This certificate does not cover vehicles sold, offered for sale, or introduced or delivered for introduction into commerce in the U.S. prior to the effective date of the certificate. So we know that the Class 3 trucks met the requirements to be eligible for this certification. Because of that before and after threshold of January 2025, the scenarios of conformity, they would have to give an update on as far as where the Class 3s are in production, or at least a delivery update. And the updates will definitely complement this EPA certification going forward. Before we get into the price action and my expectations, don't forget what I told you guys. Be sure to try to get this video up to 100 likes at least. I hope you guys have a great day. Consider smashing that subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. I'm gone. As you can see here on the 1 hour chart, you see the red line I have at that critical 50 cent level that has been holding and getting a bounce off of. I see the first touch point here, the second touch point here, and a possible third touch point here that the shorts and market makers seem to really be pinging for on today's trading day. Remember, I told you guys in my previous video that I think this week, if not the next week, this week will be very telling on where the price will be going, because I showed you in the previous videos that the indicators are lining up, especially for the weekly time frame. You see the weekly TTM squeeze is curled up into the green, basically signaling a spike up in price, as well as the monthly, which is a longer time frame out. You can see that that one is curling up as well, almost in the green. Back to the hourly, you see I have the resistance here at around 57.50. That is where we have some touch points here of the price trying to break above that level consistently, where back here we saw a little bit of consolidation before continuing up. So that is also the next level up from that 50 cent level, where it went up through that 57.50 range. And like I said, we have record low volume, around 16 to 18 million volume so far at the time of this recording at 2 p.m. And you can tell that the shorts and market makers are really trying to attack this 50 cent level with these touch points. Maybe it bounces off of that third test point if it goes down there, or maybe it has another shot of going down for a fourth test. Who knows? Maybe that third test will cause a spike up back towards to break that 57.50 possibly. Go, go, blessed in abundance.